And actually, I think we have some pretty good stuff here. I think we're looking at this YouTube video
Okay.
called 4 Study Techniques that Harvard students use, ... Study tips. It's from this channel called Empower.
Right.
And I think they have some really cool stuff in here. And our mission is to try to learn smarter, not harder.
Exactly. Yeah, because who wants to spend more time studying than we need to?
Exactly.
So if we can find those little hacks, those shortcuts that help us learn faster and more efficiently,
Yeah,
I am all for that.
absolutely. I think everyone is. And so let's jump right into it. So the first technique that they talk about in here is called active recall. And I think a lot of people are familiar with this, but maybe don't know exactly what it means or the best way to apply it. So what is that all about?
Right. So, when you're studying, maybe you're reading a textbook or you're going through some notes.
The key here is to not just passively read it, but to actively try and recall the information.
Oh, okay.
So one way to do that is as soon as you finish a chapter or a section, close the book and try to summarize the key points
Okay.
from memory. And the video recommends even writing down like 5 key questions about the material and then trying to answer them without looking back at your notes.
Okay, so you're really forcing yourself to pull that information out of your brain.
Exactly, and that's where the magic happens. Because
Okay.
when you force your brain to work to retrieve that information, you're actually strengthening those neural pathways,
Oh, interesting.
making it more likely that you'll remember it later on.
It's almost like a mental workout,
Yeah, it is. It's like you're lifting weights for your brain.
Exactly. Okay, so active recall, super important. Definitely something that I need to be doing more of, I think.
Yeah, me too.
Okay, so what about this next one? This is called the Feynman Technique.
The Feynman Technique, yes. So this one is all about teaching to learn.
Mm-hmm.
Have you ever heard of that concept?
I have, yeah, and I think it's really cool, and it makes a lot of sense because, when you actually have to explain something to someone else, that's when you really realize, like, oh, do I actually understand?
Right, exactly. It forces you to really think it through and simplify it.
Yeah.
And the Feynman Technique really formalizes that. So the idea is, first you want to read and understand the material yourself,
Okay.
right? Then you want to write down your explanation of it like you're teaching it to someone else.
Got it.
And then the third step is actually try to explain it out loud, like you're teaching it to someone who has no prior knowledge of the subject.
Okay.
The video kind of jokingly says, like, imagine you're explaining it to a 5-year-old.
I love that. Yeah.
Right, because you have to really break it down to its simplest form, and if you find yourself struggling to explain it,
Right.
or you get stuck, that's a huge red flag that you don't fully understand it yourself.
That's a great point. So it's not just about like regurgitating information. It's about really, truly understanding it.
Exactly. And it helps you identify those gaps in your knowledge so you can go back and really solidify your understanding.
So good. Okay, so active recall Feynman technique. Now let's talk about the 50-10 rule.
The 50-10 rule, okay, this is a great one for time management and maximizing your focus.
Okay, tell me more.
So it's really simple.
Yeah.
The idea is you study for 50 minutes straight.
Okay.
Completely focused, no distractions. And then you take a 10-minute break.
Okay.
And then you repeat that cycle. And the video recommends doing about 3 or 4 cycles for like peak efficiency. And one key thing they emphasize is during those 50-minute study blocks, you got to eliminate distractions.
Yeah.
Put your phone on airplane mode, close out of all those tabs on your computer. Really just focus on the task at hand.
It's so hard, though.
It is. It's really hard, but it's worth it because our brains aren't really wired to focus for hours on end.
Right.
We need those little breaks to kind of reset and come back refreshed.
Yeah, that makes a lot of sense. And you know what it reminds me of? There's this app that I use sometimes. It's like a Pomodoro timer kind of thing.
Oh, yeah.
And it does something very similar where it's like you work for 25 minutes, then you get a 5-minute break.
Right.
And I do find that actually really helps me stay on track.
Yeah, it's all about finding those little strategies that work for you.
Absolutely. Okay, so 50-10 rule, awesome. And then the last one they talk about is environment. And this is actually something that I've been thinking a lot about lately because I realized that, I tend to try to work in different places all the time. Sometimes I'm at my desks. Sometimes I'm on the couch. Sometimes I'm, at a coffee shop or something. And I'm wondering if that's actually hurting me.
Oh, yeah, that's a great point. And the video really emphasizes the importance of having a consistent study environment.
Okay.
And the reason for that is our brains are really good at forming associations. So if you consistently study in a specific place, your brain starts to associate that place with focus and productivity.
Oh, that's interesting.
So when you sit down at your desk, your brain's like, okay, it's time to work.
Okay.
And it actually becomes easier to get into that focused state.
So that's why they say, find a dedicated study spot, whether it's a desk in your room, a quiet corner in the library, wherever it is, and really make it your own, make it comfortable, keep it clean, keep it organized, minimize distractions.
Yeah, keep your phone out of sight.
Right.
Maybe put on some noise-canceling headphones or even listen to some like white noise or classical music. They say you can even find that on YouTube or Spotify.
Right. Yeah, there's tons of stuff out there to create that kind of focused atmosphere.
Yeah, it really helps set the stage for a productive study.
That's a great point. Okay, so we've got 4 techniques here. Active recall, the Feynman Technique, the 50-10 rule, and optimizing your environment. And these are supposedly techniques that are used by, Harvard students.
Right. These are like their secret weapons to success.
I like that. So are you ready to go out there and conquer the academic world?
I am. I'm ready to apply these techniques and see how much they can improve my own learning.
Me too. So I'm curious for you listening right now, which of these techniques really jumped out at you? Which one do you think you could apply like immediately to your own studies?
Yeah, and what's one tiny little step you can take today to start implementing it?
I think that's a great place to leave it. So thanks for joining us on this deep dive to smarter studying.
Thanks for having me. It's been fun.
Yeah, absolutely.
And best of luck with your studies, everyone.
See you next time.